good afternoon. Can you hear me all? Yes? So, thank you. It is a pleasure to be here on this event on communication and behaviors in energy transition policies. I'm honored to be the first speaker and to make the presentation of this introduction to this meeting. We are here gathering with a common purpose to move our decarbonization goals forward and encouraging the involvement of citizens, companies, and governments. Portugal is fully committed to achieve carbon neutrality by 2045, with our national energy and climate plan aiming for a 55% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions and 51% share of renewables energy consumption by 2030. To achieve these goals, we need to promote an energy transition centered on people. And nobody should be left behind. It is crucial to prioritize the vulnerable populations, particularly those facing energy poverty, to ensure a just transition. Only with a collective action, inclusion, and the involvement of all stakeholders, we will succeed in this transition. So public engagement is crucial for the success of decarbonization. When citizens are well informed and actively involved, they become a driving force in this energy transition. This involvement increases the impact of policies and promotes collective support for national and international climate goals. So, how can we all, governments, developers, and citizens, collaborate and get involved? Policymakers set the strategic direction. Regulators ensure compliance and fairness. Developers provide clean energy infrastructure. Civil society promotes social responsibility and inclusivity. By working in close coordination, we can tackle the challenges, share resources, and create a unified approach to support national and global sustainability goals. I would like to highlight some of the initiatives that we are working to promote public engagement. Effective public engagement is based on 4 key principles. Early engagement of stakeholders to demonstrate their input is valued. Transparency about the process and its outcomes. Inclusiveness to ensure that diverse individuals and social groups are represented throughout the policy life cycle. And building trust in project developers and policymakers. When these principles are upheld, government policies are more likely to be connected with local communities and encouraging citizens and business to adopt sustainable practices. Thus, clear government communication is a key to raise awareness and trust in energy transition policies. By sharing information about goals, progress, and challenges, governments can foster transparency and encourage active public involvement. Portugal foresees the implementation of 50 citizen energy spaces in collaboration with local institutions, led by ADENE, gathering practical information and providing advice and support in direct contact with populations, and helping citizens to overcome technical and bureaucratic barriers, making sustainable practice easier and more accessible. Effective communication needs to be clear, inclusive, and citizen-focused, ensuring that families and small business, regardless of their technical expertise, can benefit from available incentives and measures. Another effort that I would like to highlight are the renewable energy communities, are another powerful way to engage citizens in energy transitions. By allowing consumers to also be producers of energy, becoming prosumers will foster a closer, more direct relationship with clean energy. Such initiatives not only promote energy self-sufficiency and decentralization, but also strengthen a sense of collective responsibility and cooperation. The success of renewable energy communities depends on open dialogue with society, valuing transparency once again and knowledge sharing to inspire more individuals and groups to actively participate in the transition. Finally, I must address the topic of energy poverty as an essential pillar of a just and inclusive energy transition, where policies and communication alone will not be enough without tangible action that visibly improves people's lives. While policies and programs may outline ambitious objectives, real progress depends on practical, effective interventions that reduce energy poverty on the ground. Access to energy is not a luxury. It is a fundamental right that sustains well-being and basic quality of life. Governments and local authorities must not only commit to policies, but also ensure the implementation of solutions that make a difference for vulnerable households. In Portugal, the National Strategy for Combating Energy Poverty is a fundamental guiding document, providing a targeted approach to identifying and addressing the most pressing needs of vulnerable populations. Additionally, the establishment of the National Energy Poverty Observatory enables continuous monitoring and evaluation, ensuring that policies adapted to the evolving realities of energy poverty and that solutions are guided by data and impact. Portugal has a national environmental fund that further strengthens this mission by offering specific incentives to support vulnerable households in adopting energy-efficient measures. These funds help households improve insulation, install energy-saving appliances, and adopt renewable energy solutions, directly reducing energy costs and improving quality of life. Through a coordinated approach that combines national strategy, data-driven insights, and direct financial support, Portugal is taking critical steps to ensure that the energy transition benefits all citizens, raising awareness and trust in energy transition policies and giving a clear message that citizens will always be in the center of our governmental action. Altogether, we can achieve a just and inclusive energy transition. Thank you very much for joining us in this debate, and please enjoy the debate. Thank you.
Well, everything okay? Good. Thank you, Secretary of State for Energy of the Portuguese Ministry of Environment and Energy, for the key words of this session. I would like to reinforce 3 bullet points. First, everyday actions from saving energy at home to adopting renewable energy and green transportation contribute to reducing energy consumption and gas emissions. Second, when citizens are well informed and involved, they become a driving force in energy transition. This involvement increases impact of policies and promotes collective support for national and international climate goals. And third, the clear communication is key to raise awareness and trust in energy transition policies. By sharing information about goals, progress and challenges, governments can foster transparency and support active public involvement. My name is Neuza Rosa. I am coordinator at ADENE, the Portuguese Energy Agency, and I will moderate this session, also co-organized by ADENE. Before I pass the floor to our speakers, I would like to say that ADENE is deeply committed to promoting energy efficiency across the residential, commercial and industrial sectors in Portugal. Through strategic planning and communication, ADENE has developed target initiatives that support homeowners in adopting energy-saving measures and behaviours, driving to energy efficiency improvements. Initiatives such as Energy Route, or in Portuguese, Rota da Energia, that promotes citizens' energy literacy, or the Casa Mais portal, which provides advice to households to improve their energy efficiency, helps to raise awareness and participation, demonstrating how ADENE uses clear and accessible communication to foster behavior change and to drive the energy transition. ADENE also have a relevant role at European Energy Network, which have a working group dedicated to behavior change. This group aims to bring together the knowledge, expertise, and share the best practice on behavior change. The next Behave conference, organized by this working group, will be held in Paris, December next year, dedicated to sufficiency, the need for a change in lifestyles to ensure a just transition to carbon neutrality. These initiatives, in line with strategic policy planning, guarantee that energy efficiency become an implemented practice, contributing to Portugal's efforts to achieve carbon neutrality by 2045. Now we will start our presentations by our speakers as a TED Talk format with 5 minutes each, maximum please, to present your entity's experience and actions related to communication and behaviors in energy transition policies. The first one will be the Union for the Mediterranean, which is an intergovernmental organization that promotes dialogue and cooperation among Mediterranean countries to address common challenges like energy transition. It plays a crucial role in fostering regional collaboration and engaging stakeholders in decarbonization and sustainable energy practice. Please, Mr. Gramenos, the Senior Deputy Secretary General, share with us your experience. Thank you.
Now you hear me. Okay. Let me first thank you for inviting me here for two reasons. The first one is personal, and it is pelo carinho que eu tenho para Portugal. The second one is because actually today we are debating one of the most important issues which is always neglected, not seen at the COP. The engagement of the real world. I will rejoin what has been said by the Secretary of State, but maybe from a different angle. Climate change is a big problem, so it's up to the big guys to solve it. It's up to the United Nations, it's up to the presidents, it's up to the ministers. But let's take one step back. What can the state apparatus, the ministers, the United Nations do? We can draft laws, devise taxes, conclude agreements. What are these? If we take one step back, they are pieces of paper, and the ecosystem does not react to pieces of paper. They become relevant if they are a way to mobilize the only actors that can make a change, which is me and you. The sum of our better behaviors makes a change. It's not the fact that there is an agreement. But then there is, okay, no problem, because the state has a certain coercive power. I can oblige you by law. But that's true up to a certain point. In the year 301, Emperor Diocletianus in Rome faced the first well-studied case of hyperinflation. Prices were skyrocketing. So he decided to solve it the way of the emperor, top-down. He decreed that prices would not grow anymore. And indeed, on the official market, prices didn't grow anymore. But all the goods shifted on the black market, where prices grew even more because there was the imposition by the emperor. The same happens with any public intervention which is not shared and understood by the public, even in this common challenge which is climate or environment. You might recall that a few years ago France tried to impose a small carbon tax on fuels, and it generated the so-called Gilets jaunes movement. It was a mess in France, and they were going around with a panel saying, between the end of the world and the end of the month, I'm concerned with the end of the month. So, communicating, having everybody share the objective is absolutely essential. But it is said and done, because there is a sad fact. This is statistics. We know that only 0.8% of the population incorporate in their choices the common good. In the voting choices, most people don't vote for the best candidate for their country. They vote for the candidate that protects their interest. And when you shop, be sincere, how many of us are concerned with the fact that your product does not incorporate child labor? We reason this way. People are not wired to embrace a common problem, only to embrace their own problem. And this is discouraging. So even if you tell them, you know, tomorrow the world is going to end if you don't stop emitting, there will be no change. So what can we do? A path has been shown by what happened with palm oil. There was a palm oil production exploded and started to cause some problems to the common good. Forest, indigenous people, and the orangutan, etc. This small portion of population that cares for the common good reacted, and they reacted even in a very efficient way. You can recall that Greenpeace produced a fantastic video in which there was an orangutan interposing himself between an excavator, a caterpillar, and his own tree. And people believe that Avatar, inspiration, was this Greenpeace little movie. What it did produce? A lot of commotion, but then strictly nothing. Nobody cares about the orangutan, nobody cares about the forest, nobody cares about the indigenous people, if you talk to consumers. But then the discourse changed, and it shifted from it harms the forest to it harms you, which, by the way, is not true, because palm oil is a fantastic ingredient of traditional cooking. It becomes harmful if it's industrially processed. So let us not confuse things. Personalize the interest. It's fundamental. But then again, the threat mode doesn't work for a long time. After a certain time, you get acquainted. But there is something which is fantastic. And I know it sounds sad to those who ideally invested themselves for 30 years at a co-op or things like that to hear this, but it is the truth. You cannot sell sustainability, energy sustainability, because it saves the world. We are not wired to embrace this goal. But you can sell it because it is a better product. Good markets are expanding because they are sustainable, but not because sustainability means save the world. The organic food market is expanding, but not because it protects the countryside around the cities, because it's perceived as more fashionable and tastier. Electric cars started being sold at very high prices, not because they saved the environment, but because they were cooler. It is sad, but it's the only way we can mobilize society quick enough, and it is we need to sell this equation. What's good for me is good for the planet. What's good for the planet is good for me. No sacrifice needed. Buy sustainability because it's good for you.
Thank you for your words. The next one, the Regional Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency is an intergovernmental organization with diplomatic status that aims to helping countries in their energy transition by promoting engagement and behavior change to boost energy efficiency and accelerate renewable energy adoption. Here represented by Mahed Mahmoud, Acting Executive Director. Please share with us your experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the invitation. I'm very happy to be in the Portuguese pavilion. Can you hear me now? Okay. In fact, it's difficult to talk after the inspirational talk of Dr. Graminas. And I will not talk from the papers now. Okay. In fact, I'm coming from the Arab region. And the Arabs are rich in oil and gas. Correct? So, why we would care for renewables, for energy efficiency? When we were established in 2008 as a first think tank, a regional think tank for the Arab region dedicated to renewable energy and energy efficiency, we were created as some sort of a strategic partner to the government to convince them that renewables is not a threat for our oil and gas countries. And it was simply giving them a simple message, but repeating this message a lot. That for those countries who are rich in oil and gas, we are trying to maintain your leadership. You are a market leader in energy. And the energy, oil and gas, you know that the future is not that much stable. The prices are not that much stable. Diversify and you will maintain your leadership. And for the countries that are not that much rich in oil and gas, we address them with different message. We are giving you an opportunity to reduce the economic burden of subsidies. It is not environment, not ecological at all. This is how we started. We started by giving them the message that they would like to see. Through renewables, through energy efficiency, you will create jobs, a lot of jobs, small and medium enterprises, etc. This is the beauty of energy efficiency. Through decentralized PV, you will be able to address communities in poverty. And for countries like Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Libya, etc., who are facing political conflicts, if you'd like to say that. I wouldn't say Palestine and Gaza. Renewable energy solutions were, as we said, the message there was, this is how you will survive. When your system is distracted by the acts for solar can save you. Different messages addressing different needs. All of them are true, but we try to prioritize. And this was on the political level. When you go down, okay, we bought it. We would like to see renewable in our mix. What should we do? And the message there, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Simply. So please work with us in developing, as Europe did, national renewable energy action plans, national energy efficiency action plans. Don't you want to be like these advanced countries? Oh, yes, let's do it. And we have, over 10 years, supported 17 renewable energy and energy efficiency action plans. Okay, we have done excellent plans. How to get them implemented? Number one, make the people aware that the solutions exist. Number two, enhance the access to finance. For the banking sector, the first problem was, at least at the local level, wow, the ticket size for decentralized solution is too small for energy efficiency. This is a fragmented market. How can we operate there? Why we should operate there? And then you need to shape a different message for the banking sector. And this message that you are giving them a niche market and then a wider market in the future that you would benefit from. And make sure that you get access to climate finance, which is abundant worldwide. You are getting foreign currency and possibility to grow. So what I would like, my message here at the end, that we need to tailor our message based on the understanding of our receiver at the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next one, the Korea Energy Agency is a public agency dedicated to advancing South Korea energy policies and strategies. The agency focuses on innovative communication methods to inform and engage the public in energy efficiency programs and renewable energy initiatives. driving to behavioral change necessary to achieve national sustainability goals. Yong Sung Yu, the General Director, please share the best practice related to the communication and behaviors in this field. We will have a presentation. Please come here. We will change.
Okay.
Just to pass here.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need this? There's no need? Speak here.
Yeah, yeah.
Excuse me.
Thank you for having me and thank you for introduction me. And it's my honor to present this workshop and to hear presentation from other distinguished speakers. Thank you. She said I have 5 minutes. 5 minutes, so let's get started right away. I would like to tell you. I would like to tell you why KEA chose new promotion ways with notch design. Okay. Yeah. Most people try to save energy at home to reduce their energy cost, but outside, in the restaurant, in stores, hotel, they often expect excessive cooling and heating. That's why many stores and commercial buildings operate open door air conditioning or open door heating. In Korea, there is not only a cup of oil. We have no oil, so we have to concentrate to save energy in life. So it has the open door air conditioning and heating has become big energy issues in Korea in the winter and in the summer. So KA has been promoting various campaigns like this, TV commercial, bus commercial, and stickers like this. Due to the factors like energy efficiency policy, including these energy saving promotion, and last 2 years electricity rate hikes, the national overall energy consumption decreased by 3.2%, and household energy consumption dropped significantly by 7.3%. But consumption in commercial and public sectors were the only sectors to increase last year. So KEA thought that it's time to find new way to help people think about saving energy naturally. Instead of directly asking them to save energy, we can use notch design to gently guide people to make energy saving choice on their own. Yeah. Those pictures are very well known example of notch design. A small ply could reduce spillage. The yellow color on the corner could reduce accidents. In this way, notch design can also be applied to energy saving. We developed the reverse. Yes, we developed the reverse thermometer and temperature is a pictogram. pictogram. The reverse thermometer adds a fun twist by showing a cooling symbol at a higher temperature of 26 degrees Celsius and a heating symbol at a lower temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, both displayed upside down. We also developed a temperaturism pictogram that uses a caution-style safety sign like this. In Korean, the word ism in temperaturism has two meanings. The first is caution, as in be cautious on the stairs. The second meaning is same with English ism, as in vegetarianism, environmentalism, romanticism. Suggesting I am someone who follows temperature guideline. Yeah. Temperature is okay. Now let's take a look at the effort we have made to expand participation in temperaturism. Okay. We held design presentation, convention, and KEA provided the temperaturism campaign video clips, stickers, YouTube channels, and pictogram design. The stores buildings could use these promotion items to show their customers that they are part of the temperaturism campaign. In June, we signed a joint cooperation agreement with the Korea Hotel Association, representing more than 20,000 hotels. In the hotel industry, energy expenses make up more than half of the total operating cost. So they happily agreed with us to participate in the temperaturism campaign. And in the future, we plan to continue knowledge-based design promotions by creating a variety of QT goods items like these, making it fun and easy for young people to participate in this program. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us your communication campaigns. The next one, the Portuguese Laboratory for Energy and Geology, entity that co-organized this session with us, supports Portugal energy transition by promoting and carry out research, demonstration and knowledge transfer actions, helping to inform policymakers and the public by promoting engagement in sustainable energy practices. Here represented by the President, Teresa Ponce Leão, please share with us your experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilsa. Mrs. Secretary of State, panel colleagues, Director General. So I would like to share with you a few ideas, and the first one is that to change behaviors, we need to be convincing. We need to be able to engage the society and be able to communicate the opportunities that decarbonization on energy brings to the society. So the other thing is that we take very seriously the results of COP26 with the assignment of the Glasgow Agreement, where it was stated that the public policies must be science-based. And we already strategically were working to be able to advise public policies and the society, but we stressed our participation by also, not alone, but in collaboration with NGOs, local communities, ADENE, DGEG, and also regional governments and central government. So while doing this, we always intend to address the value chains, because we need to know the process from where it begins to where it ends, and to communicate and to participate how this is done. For that, we have been developing some pieces of work and communicate them to society. And I mentioned some. The mapping of wind resources and the best locations for that in our territory, the technical potentials for renewables and detailed maps for placement of the potential of solar, CSP and wind, and also solar centralized and placed in the above the buildings. We also did the mappings of the less sensitive areas for projects of PV, solar PV and wind onshore. The mapping of critical minerals, and this, as you know, it's a very results from a very important act, critical minerals for Europe, and we identified the potentials, and this is a critical area where we need to address specifically the populations. All the others, we have to explain why we place, we define the placement of certain investments, but in this case we have prospection of minerals. So we have to be able to explain the advantage for the populations and the opportunities for the populations. We also did the wind offshore mapping that together with the Director General of Maritime Resources gave place to the project that is going now on in Portugal. We mapped the potential for green hydrogen, and we also mapped the consumption of electricity in industry and its possibility of satisfaction with solar PV in industrial areas. And we did it communicating and engaging also the industry. We did all this, as I told, by working together with all the stakeholders and communicated. Recently, we had a participation in a meeting that was organized by the North regional government in Portugal, and we did it together with the mayories and communicating how they can contribute to the sustainable development, for instance, by communicating, by delivering to the Agenda 2030, but not as a receipt, a prescription, sorry, but looking at local conditions and the best way to act regarding the sustainable development goals. And another thing that is very important to reach communities and to communicate to communities the advantage is because we work very straightly with our international partners. And I refer the European Energy Research Alliance and the Eurogel surveys, where we learn by working with them the best practices. And to finish with, I would like to just highlight two very important projects that are key for Africa, which is the PANAFGEO, that capacitates all the geological surveys in Africa. This is a European project, and the Africa Maval, that brings information of potential for mineral resources, mainly for strategic and critical raw materials. And this is, as a research institute, how we act near the community. Thank you.
Thank you. The last one, but not the least. The Directorate General for Energy and Geology of Portugal, also entity that co-organized this session, contributes to Portuguese energy policy design, implementation and evaluation with a view to sustainable development, including transparent communication and stakeholder engagement to involve the public and business in energy transition. The General Director, Paulo Carmona, please share the view and experience in this field. Thank you. A challenge.
A challenge is to speak, be the last speaker. Mrs. Secretary of State, Mrs. President of LNEG, dear panelists, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the invitation. For reasons of energy and time efficiency, I will not repeat what has been well said by the later panelists. So everybody knows that the climate action awareness is among everybody. Only some Martian cannot know what's going on with this matter, and also in terms of pollution, biodiversity, everything that is affecting the planet. So that's why this energy transition is very much among us, and a drive beyond everything that we can and must be done. And just to add something that I would like to reinforce, besides what's been said, is that we had an ally, a bad ally, but still an ally, is that the war is back in Europe, and besides all these climate actions awareness, we suddenly find out that most of the countries that are fossil fuel suppliers are unstable, some rogue democracies, and so we have to take care of our supply and of energy, and the cheap energy has been behind us a long way, and the cheap energy is on renewables. We have the sun, we have the wind, and the awareness from the people is easier to tell them we have to change to cheaper energy, we have to take advantage of what we have in our natural resources, namely in Portugal with the wind and the sun and some geothermal activity. We are coming along and getting the people aware of the need to energy efficiency. We are doing a lot of work on this matter. It's our minister and our Secretary of State are always on the same target: energy efficiency, to save energy consumption, and also decentralizing the production of energy. The public awareness is very much responding to his own pockets. The probably some selfishness that you mentioned, but also that to build their own production of energy, communities of energy, and self-consumption. We are a major force behind adopting this kind of capacities and capabilities, also because of the thematic with the grid. So we want to make a really strong commitment on this matter for people to take care of their own possibility. So I think we're really on a good way, being on this awareness for energy problems in terms of supply, and the cheap what would be in terms of energy. That's the major point I would like to focus on this matter. That's what we are doing, and hope that not to repeat whatever is inside, but just to add these two paradoxal but still among us this question of self-sustainability on our country.
Perfect. Thank you. So we are running out of time and we need to close this session. So as a wrap-up of this session, for the energy transition to be successful, the collaboration of all key actors is needed and crucial, including policymakers, regulators, civil society and citizens. Each stakeholder has a unique role, and it is only through their efforts that we can make real progress in any geographical area, from Mediterranean countries to South Korea and to Portugal. With the collective power of informed citizens and aligned with the national and international goals, we can build a resilient path to a sustainable future for all. And as the world just nearby us, we should investing in the greener future together. It's worth it. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for stay here with us, Secretary of State for Energy, in all the session. We wish you a good day and thank you for our intervention. Thank you.